Guys, Marsing in here bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to be taking a look at the Prime Battle LRTN against the Cell Max event. So I did the initial showcase for Prime Battle TN when he came out. I farmed up all the medals to get him to LR basically on the day he released. I was working a night shift, so nice and easy to just set the auto clicker up, farm all of those medals, and then get the showcase out for him straight away. And I've not really done much with him since then, because we talked about it in the original showcase. But I feel like the biggest problem with Prime Battle TN is that he just doesn't have teams, right? Like, we're running him on the Saiyan Saga team, which is already an interesting choice, to say the least, for taking up against Cell Max. I know people have gotten clears with, like, double Raditz leads, but that's usually because they're actually just running a really, really good pure Saiyan team, and Raditz just happens to be there. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. I did get my LR Goku and Piccolo up to 3 dupes from all the summons on the Zamasu banner. Although, actually, have I even finished filling out the hidden potential? I don't think I did, but I mean, they're not important for this run. I guess I should have checked that beforehand. But we're looking at TN. The reason why I thought we'd jump in and try this here is obviously I threw him on my Link level team after I'd awakened him. I did the initial showcase for him straight away, so he was at full level 1 Links. But I did finish getting him to full level 10 Links yesterday, so I thought we might as well jump in and give it a try, because he is an int unit, which obviously does inherently give him a little bit of an advantage against Cell Max. But as we've talked about in previous showcases with other units, just being int doesn't mean that a unit is going to be good against Cell Max, right? Because he does hit incredibly hard. So it'll be interesting to see how TN gets on. Remember, TN needs to attack 10 times in order to be fully built up with his attack and defense from his passive. So God Goku getting an additional super here is not really ideal. But he gets 10,300 attack and defense with each attack performed up to 103,000. So he's got to attack 10 times. However, he does have a bunch of built-in additional. So he gets a guaranteed additional super attack if we have 80% or more HP. And he gets a guaranteed additional normal attack if we have 50% or more HP. So if we are at 50% or more, he's obviously, if we're at 80% or more, sorry, he's getting both of those. And then obviously if you get the hidden potential to kick in as well, he can attack 4 times in 1 turn, which is obviously pretty good. Do you share many links together? Only shocking speed. I probably do want to float Nappa off because he is the support. I also don't really want to go crazy with Kaioken Goku, but it's difficult to not get key for him in the early turns. So he's going to be doing a lot of damage to Cell Max here. So the interesting thing about TN, we obviously want him to get built up as early as possible, because one of the major downsides to the unit that we talked about in his solo showcase is that he doesn't get any extra attack or defense from his super attack effect. Sorry, defense. He gets attack. He gets no extra defense from his super attack effects. So even if we get to the final phase and he does like triple super, it doesn't make him any better defensively once his passive is fully built up. So in order for him to reach his like peak defense level, we need to have that passive fully built up. So ideally, the goal is of course to get to the tech phase with the passive fully built up, and preferably with TN actually on that first rotation against the tech phase, because as you guys probably know yourself, not just from the previous showcases that we've done, but you know, playing the event yourself, it's very easy once you get to the tech phase to be starting every single turn after the first one below 50% HP, just because of the fact that he does so much damage to you, right? Like, there are certain units that will survive his super attack, but even the units that can tank his super, you're still taking like 100, 150k, and that's even with the best options. Even units who are up there in terms of being quote-unquote good tanks against Cell Max are still taking like 250k from his super attack. So it does mean that basically after the first turn, we are pretty unlikely to be getting all of TN's buffs from his passive for those extra attacks. So, like I say, early on, God Goku getting that additional super attack was obviously bad for TN, because then Cell Max being on too low health, TN could have got a couple of extra attacks on that first turn, but ended up taking him out. So, we've got 3 attacks on this turn. That puts him up to 5 attacks total. Well, he takes 340k from the physical phase super attack. That's pretty bad. Okay, so I've got a slightly better setup this time. However, I think I mentioned it in the first section, but it's now become, after 2 attempts, become impossible for me to find another Raditz friend. So we are running a friend LR, Goku and Piccolo, which means obviously they have the Saiyan Saga 150% leader skill. So TN is getting 20% less to his stats than if we were running a Raditz friend. However, we did have a good start. He got 4 super attacks on his first turn, so we're already looking good in terms of building up his passive. I thought we'd start the recording again from here. I was going to get to the tech phase and just take it from there, but we've had a really good build up so far, and this is a very good turn for him in terms of links and everything. So hopefully he just doesn't get tagged by another super attack again, otherwise you're just not going to see this clip, I guess. But 4.3 million attack stat on his 18 keys. Pretty decent considering no support. He's got, what, 4 links active on this turn? He shares 4 links with Kaioken Goku, Z-Fighter's Shocking Speed, Shattering the Limit and Legendary Power, and then he shares 3 links with Goku and Piccolo, Solid Support, Shocking Speed and Legendary Power. So he is actually getting solid support as well. So he's got 5 out of 7 links active on this turn. And then it gets super attacked again. Oh my god. How much is he going to take now? We've done, what, 7 supers? Okay, that's a little bit less damage. Fortunately, we didn't start the turn on such low HP, so he does actually survive this turn. But, I mean, one of the things that we've noted throughout the many Cell Max videos is that the first 2 phases, whilst they are not particularly hard, obviously units who are not exactly the best defensively, shall we say, are not going to be tanking the super attacks, even in the first phase, when it comes to type disadvantage. So I guess that's kind of all we can really expect from TN as a free-to-play unit. It definitely would be nice if he was taking less damage than that. I don't really want to waste a Sensu Bean this early, but the problem is if we start the next turn on low HP, then obviously it works against us trying to get the full build-up for TN. I guess maybe if I'd transformed Goku and Piccolo here, or at least exchanged, we'd have got the special beam cannon off. We might have actually been able to kill him this turn, because as I said previously, we really want the first turn against the tech phase to be the one where we have TN on rotation. But I think now, unless, even if God Goku gets a crit on his super attack, unless he gets an additional super, pretty sure we won't be finishing off Cell Max this turn. Especially because Goku doesn't really get any links active from Raditz, right? He gets like Prepared for Battle, Fierce Battle. That might actually be it. I don't know if they share any things like Saiyan Warrior Race or Saiyan Lineage or anything. So no additional super for God Goku, so Cell Max gets to live. Depending how the attacks are spread out, he's doing 2 group attacks in slot 1, so there's no reason not to put TN in slot 1 then, because he's getting hit regardless, right? So if we put him in slot 1, at least he's going to get his attacks off here, and then that should get him up to being basically fully built up with his passive. So we shall see what we shall see. 27k. And this is the thing, right? Again, like, he doesn't get any defense on his super attack effects, so it's not like putting him in a later slot and getting a super attack off first is going to make him better, in a better position defensively once his passive is fully built up. Because at least here we can still get a couple of extra buffs, although he crits and kills him in 1 hit, which is another issue with these units that require a certain amount of attacks to build up. It's kind of like the issue with the new like Carnival LR on JP needing to take 10 hits in order to get their scouter effect, but then they kill the enemy so quickly it's very difficult for them to get hit 10 times. So this is a really bad turn as well. I actually don't know if we can even survive this turn. So if I do, let's do Raditz's active skill. Do a little tiny bit of extra damage. So does that give Raditz a defensive buff? And then I actually don't know is this the off rotation Goku and Piccolo. So I think they still have their guard. If they don't, they are just immediately dead in slot 1. And then this is the other problem with trying to bring this team into Cell Max. Oh yeah, no, they don't have their guard. 400k from a normal attack. So how much is this going to do? 1.9 million. Pretty good. Okay, so we finally got into the tech phase with TIEN on rotation. A bit of a nightmare. Obviously, we're still using the LR Goku and Piccolo friend because I can't find any Raditz friends. I realised, of course, from the previous clip, the reason why God Goku's attack stat was so low is that if we're using a Goku and Piccolo friend, God Goku's not on their leader skill. Because obviously, one of the main strengths of running Raditz's team is the fact that he has pure Saiyans as a leader skill. So what I decided to do for this run is take off my Goku and Piccolo because we don't need two on the same team. But then I had to find a unit that fits under both of their leader skills. So I brought the in LR Goku and Vegeta that fuse into Vegito because they are obviously on pure Saiyans for Raditz's leader skill, but they are on Battle of Wits for Goku and Piccolo's leader skill. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't know how well God Goku will tank a super in slot 1 here from Cell Max. Hopefully he could attack first. That would obviously be beneficial. TIEN, I got pretty good RNG because I've built him for full additional. He did attack 4 times in both turns, so he's only 2 attacks away from being fully built up, which of course he's going to get 3 attacks on this turn guaranteed, so he will be fully built up by the time Cell Max attacks him. As you can see, 4 additional and then dodge. Because I had no good silver skill orb to give him, and I figured I'm going to use him for this Cell Max video, and then I probably won't use him again, even if there's a tech enemy. So I gave him the level 5 type defense boost, so he does get a little bit of extra defense against tech enemies. But hopefully God Goku can survive in slot 1 here. Him taking 26k from a normal attack is not a good start though. But damage reduction does scale, yeah, exactly. Like, a lot of units, if they're taking 25k from a normal from Cell Max, then they're dead to a super. But you gotta remember, damage reduction being a percentage, especially Goku having 77%, I was pretty confident he was going to survive there. So TIEN is at 3.1. This is him with no links active as well, which is another detriment to the unit, obviously, but it's a detriment to his overall standing in the meta, or however you want to call it, because this team is a team that I've tried to put together to be the closest to what I think I could build that could even survive against Cell Max, and essentially it involves running units that TIEN doesn't even work well with. So you can kind of see how much of a bad spot that he's in. He took 80k from a normal attack. So despite being a Rainbow LR, free to play obviously, but Rainbow LR, fully built up passive, and he has that extra type defense equip, and he took 80k from a normal attack. Now, again, that's him with no links and no support, so it is his worst case scenario turn, to be fair, but I think I'm done with attempts at even trying to... That took me, what, 5... You obviously didn't see all the ones, right, that made it into the video. 5 or 6 attempts with this team to even get to the tech phase. And the problem is, obviously, I could build a team under double Raditz leads that could potentially even beat Cell Max, but none of the other units on the team are going to be units that work well with TIEN. So I thought this would be a fun idea for a video, but the overall verdict is that Prime Battle TIEN is not very useful against Cell Max, and considering he's the only tech super hard boss that we have at the moment, maybe he could do okay in Red Zone Omega, I guess, because Metal Cooler Core is going to have type disadvantage, and Broly you can't dodge. So I don't think his defense is anywhere near good enough to be good against Broly. So maybe you could use him against Omega, especially because if you can find a Raditz friend, or if you're running a Goku and Piccolo friend, at least Omega is int, so you have more physical units on your team. But yeah, overall Prime Battle TIEN is a bit of a miss. All they had to do was give him raised defense for 1 turn on his super attack effect, and he would be so much better, especially with having all those built-in additionals. That's like the blueprint for a perfect setup for a unit. Even if they're going to be restricted to a certain amount of HP at the start of the turn, give a unit that builds up defense on super ways to get additional super attacks, and then that unit can look really, really good. So, unfortunately, Prime Battle TN, bit of a miss. The fact that he's only just come out means it's going to be, what, like 2 years maybe at least until he gets an easy A, and then might be good. So let me know what you guys think down below. Have you finished your grind for those medals? I know a lot of people like to do the full free-to-play way, so you grind up 2 copies to get the free SA20. I would say that that's the best way to do it for most people. I obviously rushed to get mine done so I could make videos on the new units, but I don't think he's a unit worth wasting Kai's on just to have him finished as early as possible. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.